What's up gamers, Cryptico here, and welcome back to Lowering the Mark, a show where I analyze the current and former world records of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe time trial runs to see how these records get faster over time. We'll look at elements such as the loadout, racing lines, and mushroom usage to better understand what's bringing these times down. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to know when my videos go live. For today's episode, we're dipping back into the Mushroom Cup and taking a look at its final course, Thwomp Ruins at 200cc. On April 29, 2017, the world record for this run was set at 1 minute 20.345 seconds by the Irish player Kevin. Fast forward to around 2 weeks ago on January 18, 2021, and the world record was brought down to 1 minute 17.305 seconds by none other than Alberto. That's a 3-second improvement between records and a 3.7% faster time. Our former world record holder Kevin has broken an impressive 205 world records across 24 unique runs and has spent over 1,000 days holding at least one world record. Surprisingly though, none of those records are the current one. What isn't surprising is our current world record holder Alberto having broken 365 world records across 45 unique runs and is inching closer and closer to spending 1,000 days holding at least one world record. A milestone he will for sure reach unless someone pulls up and breaks all 27 current world records he holds. But by the time I upload this, it might be more. At pre-release, the world record was well above 120, and after a few days it would quickly dip under that mark thanks to Kevin and a few other players. The record would fall little by little until the next second break was achieved. English player Sean would get there first and compete with Denmark's own Rom for a little bit before American player Jimmy and a few Frenchmen came in and challenged him on the way down to 117. Jimmy spent a good chunk of 2018 holding this record before Soman put an end to that reign. From there, it would mainly be Soman and Belgian player THS going at it before American player David Fire put Soman in check. But all that was wiped out by Alberto, who came in and put up 4 faster times to secure the top spot. In total, the world record was broken 52 times by 15 different players. These two loadouts display a similar theme to the ones we saw in the previous episode. Kevin goes with a combo of the Heavy Me character driving the W25 Silver Arrow with the slim wheels and the plane glider. Alberto is also whipping the W25, but with Wario, the roller wheels, and the paper glider instead. Now just by looking at the performance, we see basically the exact same thing we saw last time. Obvious gaps in speed and handling, with Kevin barely holding the edge in top speed and Alberto barely having the edge in handling. If that wasn't enough, Alberto also picks up over a full point advantage in acceleration and mini turbo stats thanks to the roller paper glider pairing. That higher grip stat also comes in handy because of the water section on this course. You'll see what I mean by that here soon. This is one of the more aesthetically pleasing courses in the game. I enjoy racing on it mainly because of the color scheme, but the layout isn't that bad either. 200cc might be a little bit fast for this track though, or maybe I'm just bad at the game. Could be both. Kevin hits a rocket start out of the gate and almost immediately uses his first mushroom to cut through this grass patch, picking up 2 mini turbos in the process. After that, he enters the tunnel and goes wide on the next turn to pick up a few coins and a super mini turbo to close out this first section. Alberto hits that same rocket start and shortcut through the grass, but when he enters this tunnel, he starts charging his drift up a bit earlier, which allows him to get an ultra mini turbo just before the end of this section. Surprisingly enough, neither racer was faster than the other up until this point, but that's about to change going into S2, where both racers split the same time through the first section. Kevin veers to the left and goes up on this anti-gravity wall to hit a zipper before grabbing the first of 2 jump boosts heading into the second tunnel. Near the end, he picks up 3 more coins and starts a drift chain he'll carry into the final section. Now, Alberto also veers to the left a little bit, but goes down into the water after starting a drift off the ledge. When he lands, he picks up the mini turbo and chains another one off of that before hitting 2 jump boosts of his own and grabbing those same 3 coins and mini turbo to close out this section. This is where the main time save is for Alberto, as it's a more direct route through the course and obviously faster since his lead over Kevin now sits at just over half of a second going into S3. Into S3, Kevin finishes that drift chain with a quick mini turbo, then begins charging one up all the way to this ramp and gets a super mini turbo. He hits the jump boost off of the glider and flies to the left to pick up another coin before crossing the finish line. Now, Alberto does the same thing up until this first ramp. Just after releasing the mini turbo, he hits the jump boost off of that ramp, then another one off the glider ramp, and then while still gliding, grabs another jump boost off the left ramp before closing out the lap. All we have to take away so far is that Alberto took a better line through S2 and hit more jump boosts. While that is a big part of it, there's still a few more various time saves worth taking a look at. Right now though, after lap 1, Alberto leads Kevin by just over 0.8 of a second. Speaking of which, let's put these two side by side real quick. Look at where both racers are after this shortcut. You'd think that Kevin's line was pretty good, but you can clearly see Alberto on a much tighter one. The speed he carries from the mushroom and the fact that this is 200cc allow him to not lose his drift when touching the grass. As for the rest of this section, Kevin goes a bit tighter around the next turn, but that's only because Alberto needs to take a longer turn in order to get that ultra mini turbo. Despite that, he was still able to push his lead over Kevin even further as he sits over 1.1 seconds ahead of him going into S2. Kevin pretty much does the same thing he did on lap 1, except when he hits the anti-grav jump boost, he's a bit lower on the ramp than on lap 1. This amounts to less time in the air with the same amount of speed from the boost. After that, he just carries on to the next turn, which he takes a bit tighter due to there being no coins to collect. Let's take a closer look at Alberto's S2. It starts with the drift off the ledge into the water. Since mini turbos still charge while in the air, he picks up the boost almost immediately after he lands and has just enough room to chain another one before the first jump boost. This definitely isn't easy as it requires really precise timing and positioning. After that, he just hits the second jump boost and takes that next turn tighter as well before the last section. Another big push to Alberto's lead after he takes the better line through S2, a lead which now sits at 1.4 seconds at the end of S2. Now if we put these sections side by side, it becomes even more obvious that Alberto gets through this one faster. Right as each racer hits the ramp, the laps and jump boost is put on full display. Alberto hits 3 while Kevin hits 1 and is just focusing on flying on a good line on his way down to the finish line. Funnily enough, the time Alberto gained by doing those 3 jump boosts is around the same amount of time he gained after going through the water in S2. His lead sits at just under 1.9 seconds going into the final lap after he outsplit Kevin's lap 2 by 1 second. Here's 5 episodes in a row where I tell you that the last lap is the same for both racers, and the second in a row with a lap 3 announcement. I'm looking for more course suggestions for the back half of Season 4, so if you have a course that you want to see that I haven't covered yet, let me know in the comments and I just might queue it up for the remaining episodes of this season. I know a lot of you are requesting the alternate CC of a course I've already done, and I do plan on doing that, but I want to cover as many unique courses as I can before doing a CC flip. There goes one last lap where we got to see Alberto tear this run apart with his epic skills and Kevin just get left in the dust. He comes across the finish line with a final time that is just a hair over 3 seconds faster than Kevin's former world record. So by taking tighter lines at various points across the track, carrying speed more effectively, and hitting more jump boosts, Alberto was able to push this run to its limit and put up a pretty impressive time considering what the best known splits look like. More on that later. For now, let's hear a word from the world record holder. What was going through your mind when you set this world record?
I was for once satisfied with the world record run here, and I was expecting to see a time similar to that before crossing the finish line.
Are there any strats that look easy to perform but in actuality are pretty difficult?
The water exit trick is the most underrated part. It's very common to miss the trick with a slightly wrong alignment or button input.
Is there any chance a 116 might happen, or is 117 pretty much it for this run?
There is absolutely no way that a 116 will ever happen with these current strats.
Great words from the champ. Now let's take a look at how this run can be faster. The best known splits for this run show just how optimized Alberto has made it. All 3 splits are owned by him and some of them are really close to the world record split. There's only around 5 to 6 frames that can be knocked off, with lap 2 accounting for 2/3 of those. Laps 1 and 2 are so close to perfect that it's a surprise that none of the world record splits are the best known split. With a 0.1 being technically possible, it would take the run of a lifetime to capture that mark in my opinion. I mean, Alberto is the best there is, and a time as good as his world record is already super difficult to match, so a 0.1 would require him to enter God mode, or maybe someone else for that matter. The worldwide top 10 consists of 7 national and 3 continental record holders. Alberto rules Europe with his 117.3, Soman rules Asia around 150 milliseconds behind him, and David Fire is the king of the States just under 2/10 back from world record. The 4th through 6th place players are all separated by just 1/10 of a second and include Jimmy alongside 2 more national record holders in Thomas and Pi. The bottom 4 of the leaderboard are even closer than that and consist of well-known players such as Alpha, Tane, and Italic. Alberto is sitting pretty with well over 1/10 of a second lead over his next best competitor, so this record might hold for a while unless he gets bored one day and gets 0.2. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. That's the end of episode 35. Thanks for watching. It sucks I gotta take a short break from this series, but I'll be back with episode 36 before you know it. Hope you're all staying safe out there wherever you are. As always, if you enjoyed this video, like and share it with your friends, and make sure to comment on which course you'd like me to analyze next. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.